All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about how to take that amazing custom AI you've built and actually connect it to the rest of the world. We're going to turn it from this brilliant but kind of isolated tool into a powerful, integrated app that anyone, anywhere can use. Let's do it. So, you've already done the really impressive part, right? You've used these incredible no-code tools, maybe Flowise or LangFlow, and you've actually crafted a custom AI. You've fed it your own data, you've trained it, you've basically built an expert AI brain. And honestly, that's a huge accomplishment.
But here's the catch, isn't it? Right now, that powerful brain is, well, it's isolated. It's living on a lonely island, completely cut off from your users, your team, or your customers. You've created this amazing thing that nobody can actually talk to yet.
So, how do we rescue our AI from that island? We need to build a bridge. And in the world of software, that magic bridge is called an API. This is the unsung hero that's going to make everything we want to do possible. So, what on earth is an API? Honestly, the simplest way to think about it is as a universal translator. It's basically a set of rules that lets totally different programs talk to each other, have a real conversation. It lets your AI brain chat seamlessly with any app you can dream up. I love this analogy because it makes everything click. If a tool like Flowise is the AI's brain, that's where all the thinking happens, then your website or your app is its body. That's the part that users actually see and interact with. So what's the API? It's the nervous system, instantly firing messages back and forth, connecting that brain to that body to create these amazing, intelligent, real-time interactions. Okay, enough theory. Let's make this real. We're going to start with probably the most common and powerful use case out there, building a custom chatbot that can live on any website. And we'll imagine we're using a no-code tool like Bubble to build that front-end interface. Okay, so at their core, all of these document Q&A systems really have two different jobs to do. First, there's what we call ingestion. That's the setup, the part where you're teaching your AI by feeding it information. And then there's retrieval, and that's the live conversation where user asks a question and your AI goes and finds the answer. Let's break down that teaching process, the ingestion part. So first, a document gets uploaded. Then your system automatically chops that document up into smaller, more digestible chunks. Then this is where the magic happens. Each of those little chunks gets turned into a long string of numbers that represents its meaning. We call this vectorizing. And finally, all those number versions of your text get stored in a special database, just waiting to be searched. Now for the live show. A user asks a question in your web app. Your system does the exact same thing to their question. It vectorizes it, turns it into a string of numbers. Then your app searches the database, not for keywords, but for the document chunks whose numbers are the most mathematically similar. And this is the brilliant part. Those super relevant chunks get handed to a large language model, which uses them as the perfect context to write a beautiful, human-like answer. Okay, so now you get the basic blueprint for building a web chatbot. But the cool thing is, you can adapt this blueprint for all sorts of different real-world situations, from a tiny little website widget all the way to a full-blown software product. So if you just want a simple search widget on your website, you can usually just grab the embed code that Flowise gives you. Easy. For an internal team tool, you'd probably put all the company documents into a single, shared namespace. Think of it like one big shared library for the whole team. But for a multi-user app, where every user's data has to be private, you use their unique user ID to create a separate partitioned namespace for each of them. It's like giving every single person their own private digital locker, which is absolutely critical for security and privacy in a real product. A web chatbot is incredible, don't get me wrong, but the real beauty of having an API is just how flexible it is. I mean, what if we wanted to give our AI a completely different kind of body? What if we wanted to actually give it a voice? And this, right here, is probably the most powerful concept in this whole explainer. You do not need to rebuild your AI brain. The backend, the data, all the logic, it all stays exactly the same. The very same API you built for your website can be used to power a voice assistant. All you're doing is swapping out the front-end body from a website to a voice. So how would this work with something like Siri? It's actually incredibly slick. A user speaks a question to Siri. The Shortcuts app on their iPhone or iPad just grabs the transcribed text of what they said. Then it makes a totally standard API call to your AI's endpoint, sending that text along. Your AI brain does its thing, sends back the answer as text, and Siri just speaks it out loud. The possibilities here are just huge.
Think about custom, hands-free assistance for any task you can imagine. So let's just recap. We've walked through the entire blueprint for connecting your AI brain to a web body and even to a voice. We've seen how this one core system can be adapted for just one person or for thousands. The fundamental pieces, they're all right here. This is the big takeaway. Tools like Flowise and LangFlow, they are not the end of the line. They aren't just applications you build in. They are powerful custom AI engines that you build with. They are the starting point, the intelligent core of something much, much bigger that you can plug into literally anything that knows how to make an API call.
Which really, it just leaves us with one final and very exciting question. We've given you the blueprint. You now know how to connect your AI brain to anybody you can possibly imagine. So now, it's over to you. What will you build?